Hi, everybody. Welcome to Coffee Break with Christine. Today is Tuesday, so we are rolling through the week. I am interviewing my good friend, Candis Hickman, today. So she is here in Miami with me. I'm excited to chat with her. Just waiting for her to request here at the bottom. If you hit yep, perfect.
Hello.
Hello. I have similar hair to you today.
Uh,
How's it? Oh, wait, I can't hear you.
You can't hear me?
Oh, now I can. Okay.
Okay, maybe I need to hold you up off my computer. How are you?
Good. Hanging in there. How are you?
Doing wonderful.
Good.
I to do this with you.
Yeah, me too. Thanks for joining me. Hi, Soul.
Oh, hey, Soul Ballad, who happens to be in my living room.
How appropriate.
She's the greatest.
Thanks for watching. So we're really here to highlight you today in your business. So why don't you tell us a little bit about your journey to entrepreneurship and, did you always know you wanted to be an entrepreneur and kind of how you got to where you are today?
Okay. Uh, you know, I don't think that I knew that I wanted to be an entrepreneur because actually I didn't even know what the word meant. um, and I I remember as a kid, actually, one of my friends, her dad is an entrepreneur. And I remember him saying, and she would always talk about entrepreneurship, and I couldn't even say the word. So I don't think it's necessarily like something that I always knew. I think
Hmm.
what I always did know is that I was going to do something that was creative. And back then I just thought I wanted to be like a boss lady. Like I always imagined myself in a suit. Um, but yeah, I think it was a gradual process. I was an occupational therapist in Australia, and I moved to the US and was kind of forced into this period of personal reinvention. And during that time, just came to see the power in me just sharing my story and putting myself out there. And so I've continued to do that over the years. And I feel like this was less a decision for me and more just it happened, you know.
Hmm. And tell us exactly what you do now.
So now I'm a personal brand consultant and life coach. And the work that I do is really centered around helping people to discover really the essence of who they are. So their story, their personal aesthetic, what they have to actually offer the world through their work and their service, and then learn how to express it in a way that connects with the people that need to hear it. And so people commonly refer to that as personal branding, but for me, it's a little bit of a deeper process. And in fact, I only recently really embodied the word life coach because that's something that my coach said to me. Well, Candice, the work that you do is not just about personal branding, and I said, well, it's my version of personal branding, which is really the intersection between the two.
Hmm. I didn't know that you were embracing life coach now.
Yeah, personal. So I've been a personal branding coach, and that's been true for me. And my coach said to me a couple of weeks ago, she said, you know, Candice, it's so much deeper. And I said, yeah, well, I know, and I've accepted that. And in order to really, for people to see it a very simple view, that the work that I do goes beyond just what are your colors and what are your fonts and what are you going to wear to a photo shoot, and to understand
Mm,
at the heart of the work is about understanding who you are at a deeper level, understanding what's your personal aesthetic, and how do you actually embody that in such a way that you can create colors and fonts and palettes that actually are in alignment with who you are.
hmm.
So it's a much deeper process, the process that I take people.
Yeah. And I think a lot of times people think like, oh, I can figure it out on my own, but I think really having the benefit of a coach, or I think the word coach is thrown around a lot, and it's like, you know, what there are good coaches, bad coaches, of course. I think you're an amazing coach, so I'm so like grateful to have known you. But I think, what do you think? How do you think a coach can really help someone who's just getting started in terms of developing their personal brand?
Mm. You know, like I said, I think that at the heart of building your personal brand, and I specifically work with people that want to be of service to the world through their work. I'm deeply
Mm-hmm.
say, you know what, I want to leave a legacy. I want to speak on stages. I want to write a book. And so they're deeply connected to the idea of impact, influence, and legacy. And so, how a coach can support that is a lot of the times people say, I've got this idea, but I don't quite know how to get there. I've got a vision for my life. I know what it is that I want, but I have no idea how to get there. And so, in the process of coaching, we dive into really understanding what's your unique story, and you know, what is it that you actually have to offer, and what do you want to share with the world, and how do we actually package those things up in a way that creates income for you, you know, how do we set.
Mm-hmm.
And so, and these are the elements of just understanding and building a foundation that's really rooted in those principles.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I think that's super important to be able to speak to your ideal client and show your value to them too, which is what you help people do. So, switching gears a little bit. So, what has been the most difficult part of entrepreneurship for you, would you say?
Mm. Um, the most, you know what, probably the most difficult part, I think, when you're getting started is that you're no longer relying on, you don't know from necessarily from month to month until you start putting systems in place where your money's coming from.
Mm-hmm.
And I think that that can be, you know, when you're waiting for clients, or you're in the process of acquiring clients, or whatever it might be, you know, it can be, the early stages can be very stressful, you know.
Mm-hmm.
Although it's interesting to see, like during this time of COVID, how people that did have one employer are probably, many are worse for than those of us who had money coming from different sources. So,
Yeah, that's true. Um, and so, speaking of the stress, so obviously with entrepreneurship, there comes a lot of ups and downs. So, I'm curious if you could share how you tend to deal with all the emotional roller coaster ups and downs that come along with it.
I usually have to disconnect from it. I think, you know, when
You're
things
cutting
do.
out, sorry.
Can you hear me?
Okay, now, yeah.
Okay, tell me if that happens again. I'll go and get my headphones.
Okay, no, it's okay.
Yeah, I think that, how do I deal with the ups and downs? You know what? I think that there, well, for one, it's great. It's to have the support of people, of good friends like you that
Hmm.
understand the journey of soul, who we mentioned earlier, that understand, of my husband, who understands, and is able to kind of provide, you know, emotional support, and somebody that really gets what you're going through. I think is really.
Hmm.
And then I would say the other thing is to disconnect. I think that there is this tendency when you have your own business to be focusing entirely on, um, you know, the hustle. And so you're going, and you're
Hmm.
trying to create something. And everybody wants to leave the 9 to 5 until they realize that once you leave the 9 to 5 to go into your own, you're working more than that, you know? And
Definitely.
right. So, you know, the ups and downs, you have to learn how to disconnect.
Hmm.
And I
Turn
think
off the messages, the emails, take a break, go to the beach, take time
exactly.
for yourself. I think
Yeah.
also kind of having a routine or like even a system around your time definitely helps with that. So, like on my calendar, I put my workout, I put my meditation time, to make sure if it's on my calendar, I'm usually doing it. So,
Hmm.
um, and what's your favorite part about your business or being an entrepreneur?
I mean, I think that what's my favorite part about it? I'm somebody who loves the aha moments. I love the aha moments that not only happen for me personally. I feel that having your own business it's an opportunity to go deeper. It's an
Hmm.
opportunity to understand what it is that you want. It's an opportunity to understand the vision that you have for your life. In fact, I just spoke to somebody yesterday who booked in for a call with me because she is a very successful entrepreneur and copywriter who had been doing the work for about 7 years and got to this point in her career where she went, well, I don't actually know if I don't know if I'm doing this with the clients and with the people that I want and the way that I want to do it. And I think that as a business owner, that's what happens. When you spend so much time and effort working towards building one thing, it is an opportunity to really like go deeper, and to really ask yourself, like, what do I want, to get clear on your vision. And it's a process by which you're going through regularly, you know.
Hmm.
And so I feel that having a business has I guess forced me to know more about myself and also to encourage and lead other people in the process of understanding who they are and what they have to offer the world.
Hmm.
So it's the aha moments, not just for me, but for the people that I work with.
Hmm. Yeah, I think it's important, obviously, to always keep learning new skills. Things online are changing constantly. Um, and I think it's easy to be hard on ourselves, like, oh, I don't know how to do that. But then we look back at all that we've learned since we've started, and it's just like that's an aha moment. Like, wow, like look at everything that I've accomplished and look at the positive side of things instead of oh, I don't know how to do this, but we really, I think entrepreneurship is just a journey of self-discovery and learning and growing and just learning new skills and just takes patience and a little bit of time sometimes. Um, so what do you have going on now? Tell everyone kind of like what the services are that you offer, what you have coming out in the near future, what you're working on. Talk a little bit about that.
Sure. Well, there is two primary ways that I work with people. I work with people over a 3 month period. So during a coaching experience where we really work on the foundations, of who they are and the storytelling and the messaging and the aesthetic and all of those elements. And then I also have it's an intensive. It's called Budding Brand Immersion, and over the course of 5 hours, it's almost like almost like a done in a day experience. Where over the course of 5 hours, we work to not only define your story and the story of your target client, but also to package up an offer that you can sell. So the entire purpose is that some people sometimes and often people will come along and they say, okay, I'm on social media promoting myself. I'm like got a YouTube channel or a podcast, and they have all of these different visibility strategies in place to bring attention to themselves, but they
Hmm.
don't. It's not. There's no offer backing it. And so when the time comes for them to actually get on a call or sell somebody into something, they just don't know what they're selling. And so the entire point of the half day immersion with me is we work around language, we work around really nailing the emotional feelings of our target clientele and how we connect to them. And then we actually go ahead and we build out a service-based package or product that actually serves the needs of that client.
Hmm.
I'm not launching anything new anytime soon. Uh,
Hmm.
share there, but these are the core things that I have to offer.
Awesome. And do you want to talk about the book or
Sure.
let's talk about the book?
At the book. Yeah, I'm writing a book. It's called Becoming Known. Um, you know, this concept of becoming known, a lot of times people will talk to me and say, well, Candice, the idea of becoming known doesn't seem too much in alignment with you because you're so deep and becoming known seems so shallow. The reality is that I've always said before you can become known to others, you have to become known to yourself.
Hmm.
And so, at a deeper level, we have to understand who we are and our story. And you and I and Sol have every Wednesday since like October writing our books at 7 o'clock in the morning before the rest of the world's up. And I realized as I got to the end of this book that um, there was an aspect of identity that I hadn't yet explored, and that was culture,
Hmm.
and how that actually impacts on my expression and my understanding of who I am. And so I'm 40,000 words in, which was our goal for these books, and then realized that there is this whole other aspect is left forward and that needs to be looked at. So I'm so close to I think finishing this book, but at the same time I feel like there is some really core necessary information that needs to go into the book. So
Hmm.
I don't have a date for that. I know we both said it was going to be June 1st, and I've been allowing myself to kind of sit with all the new things that are going on for me, and
Hmm.
probably looking to get it later on in the year.
Yeah. And I think that's okay. And I think all that's happening in the world is part of your discovery of learning more about who you are and your past and what you want to be known for as well. So, I mean, I think it's sometimes we just have to pause and reflect and take time. Like you said, it's not just all about the hustle and the go, go, go. So, definitely. Well, I look forward to reading all of our books once they're out there. Um, so if you were giving advice to a brand new entrepreneur, what is one thing that you would tell her?
Mm. Build your foundation first.
And what do you mean? But expand a little bit on that.
Building your foundation, it means really being rooted in a strong sense of who you are, who you want to become, and what you want your life to look like. Because I think, I've had 7 calls in the last week with different people that were interested in coaching or that had been in the industry for a while and we were looking at kind of their current brands. And for a lot of people, they said, well, I want to do this and this and this and this and this. And then you said, well, but who do you want to be? How do you want to be perceived? What do you want your life to look like? And there was a good portion of those people, actually most of them, who were building something that was not in alignment with what they wanted. And
Mm-hmm.
that can happen so often that people get, oh, well, this is the easiest way to make money. And in their mind, they think, oh, this is the easiest way to make money. So let me just do it this way. But it's not in alignment with their end goal.
Mm-hmm.
And I think that it's so important that you have to stay connected, not to the vision of what you think you want, but more closely to the vision of who you want to become. Who do you want to be? And when you can keep your eyes anchored on like, who do I want to be? What do I want to be known for? It changes the way that you operate and the decisions and the moves that you make on the journey to doing that.
Mm-hmm. That's awesome. You're so deep. I could talk to you all day. Um, let's see, what else? So you said you're just kind of keeping with the programs that you have for now. Do you mind sharing like what's next, a long-term goal that you have?
Oh, I did have this academy. You know about it. You're in it for a little while, and I originally launched it as a membership community, the Becoming Known
Hmm.
Academy. And I decided that that wasn't necessarily the right model for me at that time. I would like to see that relaunch the academy. and maybe not as a subscription, in a different way. But I'm just right now thinking about the best way to really go about that. But I would love to see a big becoming known academy and a big conference surrounding that and retreats. And I think once all of this blows over, I would like to start doing more in-person experiences and, you know, creating growth opportunities and connection opportunities for people in person, which is something that, you know, I've done in the past, but kind of got away from. And I would like to get back to doing that.
Like running workshops?
More so, more of like more involved things like retreats. Um, you know, we were actually, my husband and I were meant to be running a retreat up in Montana in September that we had to cancel because of COVID. But yeah, we would like to get back into doing more of those things.
Hmm. Well, sounds great. Sign me up.
You bet you, girl. I'll be looking forward to it.
Well, I don't really have any more questions. Is there anything else that you would like to share?
No, I love you. I'm
Oh,
grateful for you and you
same.
doing this these live interview series and giving a platform for women. I think that that's important, and it's cool to like connect with people in this way. It's interesting. Like we thought that we were going to be less connected with people because we were stuck inside, but in many ways, I'm like, it's actually being inside for all this time. We both have worked from home, right? And so we know and understand what it feels like to work from home. If then all of a sudden everybody's forced to work from home,
Mhm.
and you start realizing how much you don't want to be at home anymore. And I think that's happened for me. I don't know if it's happened for you, but I'm
That's
just
why I called you yesterday. I'm like, get
like,
me out of here. Well, I
yes, it.
appreciate you as well and all that you've taught me. I knew nothing about branding, personal branding. I definitely found part of myself. You suggested focusing on boundaries, which was like right there staring at me in my face, but like until you pointed it out. So I give you credit for that. And yeah, just grateful to have you in my life as well. So, last question I always ask people, I think I know your answer because we hang out enough, but what's your favorite hot drink? Coffee or,
Coffee.
yeah, cappuccino?
Um,
You're a coffee with cream girl, aren't you?
I'm a coffee with creamer type of person. I really love the cortaditos because I like it strong with the milk and the sugar, so that's really good. Or a mocha.
Mm-hmm. Very nice. Well, thank you so much for your time, for sharing about you, your business, your tips. And I will be uploading this to IGTV, but also to YouTube. So I will send you the link after.
Perfect.
Thank
Awesome.
you. I'll see you soon. Have a beautiful day.
Later.
Bye.